Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Big week. Prices have to move before we get started. We haven't moved much lately. MT Live this week. Breakouts. Got to trade breakouts. We all do. Got to trade them the right way. So let us review all of that and put it all together as we put every MT Live together in a clear format. So join us. I'll drop the link in a little while, but I think you know where to find it. Just go to the homepage and under get started. Under that menu, there is a link to MT Live. We'll see if we can get it for you. Okay, so let's look at some charts. As you already know, markets have been just whipping back and forth, consolidating, waiting for this Fed announcement, which, I think the number's like 95% now. They're going to cut a quarter. So it's a done deal. You wonder, okay, is it already baked in? But the Powell's comments will be, I'm not even sure his comments. I mean, there's always the jiggles. Let's put it that way. Right? There's always the jiggles on his comments, and there's always the jiggles on the announcement. But okay, he's not long for the Fed. The other guy's coming in. He's, going to do what Trump tells him to do, more or less. You got the others talking, and so on his comments, maybe we see things take off and the markets push up to make new all-time highs, and we get the Santa Claus rally into year end. And we'll see. So far, the pricing action is constructive. We'll take a look at the underlying, the ETS, but again, the white area is during the trading day and the bluish area is overnight. And so what we see, if we were to block out the blue areas, a power move up, which is the wide bar on the daily time frame, and just consolidating in the upper part of the wide bar. Pretty bullish. It is bullish, black and white. It's how we define it. And what preceded it back here was an even stronger move. That's where we got the big move in breadth, where many of the dogs moved up strongly. And as I explained in prior pre-markets, that has always preceded a continuation move higher. So things are still quiet. We're waiting. See the kind of movements they're going to be. There's the diamonds, and you can put this on the day chart. And as you can see, there's, the move up. There's the one move up, consolidation. Another move up, consolidation. And now there's hesitancy since it's up as much as it is. So what do we do here? Well, same thing we do day in and day out. Mark significant support. So this is not a pivot. Not a pivot because it doesn't have three higher lows to the left and right. But if you apply some common sense, and which is what we have to do, right? Unfortunately, the indicator-based methodology doesn't apply common sense because it tries to be more robotic in that, hey, is it oversold? Is it overbought? Do you have a signal? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Well, this is not a pivot. You've got 2 days of consolidation there, which created some support before the move up. And you can see it right here. And that is the area where we want to be a buyer. Any price area, let's just call this major support, even though it's not a pivot because it made a higher high. Any pullback into that area on a short-term basis, I want to be a buyer. And you can apply that thinking to any of the other indices we're going to look at. Now, this would be considered minor support, but this is a void there. So here's your major support on the 65-minute chart. Any pullback there, some buyers, but we're just in a trading range versus if prices were, for whatever reason, this morning to come down and make a more violent type of a move into this area, we'd want to then see some kind of price action like this or like this on a smaller time frame. Is my mic breaking up, Alex? some problems over the weekend with the internet, but I don't know what he's answering. Maybe someone else should ask them. Okay. All right. So that's the thought process there, right? Any move down to major support, whatever the news might be, we were thinking buyer, just like any other time. Once we think that, now we need to see on a smaller time frame of your choice or my choice, some kind of price action that supports actually buying down there. So we'll be watching for that. All right, let me move some stuff around here because I have to get some of the numbers. And see here. Move to this. Options. Okay. 7,000 is still the big number, but that's for the options expiration that'll be coming up. But that's where it's big open interest is out there in 11 days. Okay. So S&Ps, and go back here. You can see it's just kind of a sloppy grind. Commission generator, frog in a blender, right? Destroying trader accounts, whip down, up, chop, 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 whip around, up, chop, chop, up and down. Just silly price action there. I just want to stay away from it. Okay. All right. So spiders, consolidation, a little push above there, came back in, close to an all-time high, definitely striking distance. If for whatever reason it pulls back around 680, you want to think about being a buyer. That's where the big support is. And unless there's some news that comes out that just shocks everybody, like no cut, where are you gonna? Is there gonna be any cut? We don't even know about next year. The market then craters. That's definitely not going to happen because I think Trump gets rid of the whole Federal Reserve at that point. But look, we have everything we look at, whether it's the CME tool, whether it's the 13-week treasury, it's just tanking. So whatever it's up here a little bit this morning is relatively meaningless. But this historically has been an excellent guide. So they're going to cut. It's like, what is he going to say afterwards? And then how meaningful is it since he's on the way out? Interestingly, interest rates went up last week and the market yawned at it, didn't really care. There's a significant resistance area there. However, the 30-year broke out above there. Interest rates going up. So inflation concerns, maybe thoughts of the economy is actually going to do well. And let's see what happens after Wednesday and after this week. But this says positives and negatives, but interest rates going up, markets don't always go down. There are times where interest rates go up as long as they don't go up an extravagant amount. Markets can still do well. Okay, so let's see where SPY is. Basically going nowhere. It's flat. Okay, up a teeny bit. Let's look at SPX. Nothing got touched last week. This morning, this is not moving up. Well, the market didn't move up. But that little down blip at the end of the day on Friday didn't make much difference. That came up a lot. So what that communicates to me is that there's a growing consensus that the market is going to go up. And I think that's what we should be thinking. Right? There's going to be a rate cut. We're coming seasonally. It's a good time of year. Um, it's unlikely that markets are going to move down in a meaningful way. And if it does pull back toward this 68.10 area, give or take, I know, the open interest at levels there, there'll be buyers. So, hey, that's the plan. If it continues to go sideways, hope maybe we'll get some price action today and tomorrow, but what the markets have been doing. All right, let's look at gold, not doing anything. Backed off a bit. Everything backed off on Friday. And you see these little topping tails, but topping tails are one bar. They don't change trends. And you're looking at this on a closing basis, it's just going sideways. So nothing's happening. Silver is just consolidating, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody's waiting to see what the Fed's going to do. Everybody knows what they're going to do, but yet they're waiting. Russell has been the star. It was the worst, among the worst here, tanking down here toward that major support level. And this was around the options expiration of where the option traders were betting on a mini crash, and that unwound and ripped everything higher. So far, just bullish price action, just slow grinding, is what it is. There's IWM here this morning, up a little bit. There's just not much happening here this morning, unfortunately. Maybe it's a good thing, but up near resistance, who's going to be buying up there? Not anybody that is going to continue to buy in a meaningful way, unless things maybe, again, correction bars is what we want to see. Some kind of dip below a prior bar's low or 2 bars low, and then it holds its support and rips back up again. Buying breakouts, and this is something that we'll be covering on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, MT Live. Don't miss it. Have I addressed small candles lately absorbing supply? Well, no. I mean, we could talk about many different things that I go over in a course, and we could, be talking here still at 4 o'clock, and the markets will pass us by. But so what Alex is asking me, folks, is the concept of absorbing supply is something I began speaking about many, many years ago, because in another lifetime, I had gas station, auto repair shop. I was a mechanic. So I kind of, my common sense type of personality, narrow it down to its most common parts and break it down, process of elimination, call it whatever you want, explain it, the mechanics behind what's going on technically. So when prices come up to an area of resistance, there's resistance, interchange the name supply with resistance. Interchange the move up toward that resistance with demand. Demand has to absorb supply, or supply overcomes demand and pushes it down. So another way of looking at it is correction through time. So a correction through time like this, right? Small candle bodies, narrowing ranges. And if you look at SPX, you can look at the, I put the average true range. This number was over 100 a week ago. Now it's 45, 5-day average true range. So this is absorbing supply, going sideways, narrowing ranges and narrow candle bodies at resistance. That builds support. That implies it's going to go higher. It also tells us that this area where the supply was absorbed and demand created a new shelf of support that if it gets violated, it's going to be ugly. Right? It's going to be ugly because this sideways price action tells us that buyers anticipate higher prices and they don't believe it's going to pull back. Right? Expecting a pullback at this point was a reasonable expectation. Then over time, this communicates absorbing supply, strong demand, building a new base to go higher. Now, it hasn't gone much higher. It's just waiting for the Fed. Now, if it breaks below here, you have expectations that have been foiled. It's like, what the F happened? Right? Now, demand becomes supply, and it'll be driven lower into the void below. We don't want that. What we want, if it comes down here, to be a buyer again, because there'll be buyers again. So I didn't plan on doing a little mini course there, but that's the kind of stuff in the courses, how I explain things extremely thoroughly to understand what's going on when you read these price bars. All right. So that's the theme for today. We'll see how things shape up. Bitcoin, I want to take a look here. I'm thinking at the moment, because of the way this moved down, bear flag. I'm kind of hoping it rolls over. Now, as you can see, this is at resistance and starting to roll there a little bit. But I'm watching this to see if it goes down, because it could be a good buying opportunity down here. But we'll see. So far, it's just going sideways. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. I don't have many alarms going off. I mean, I'd prefer the market to go sideways into the Fed, because many times it rallies into it and it's, got sell the news mentality. We'll do what we do every day here. FLS, I guess, had an up alarm here. This is a long we got into on Friday. I looked at the level 1 and I can't tell, so we'll just go back to it. Progressive looks great. Sell setup. Alarm went off. Sell setup. Well, it's a breakdown on the daily. Sell setup and reversal on the weekly. Is that all my alarms? Yeah, there's another sell setup though. APTV, that looks great. A little 1, 2, 3 after sell setup. We have a put spread on that. Yeah, that's all my alarms. Fine. D-Dog, we're actually short. Let me reset the alarm. Let's see what's in the news here. Netflix buying, or trying to buy Warner Brother. So remember I mentioned last week, Greg, there was another company who offered $30 a share. So why is Netflix talking to them? And they came out and did that today. So that's why that's ripping here some more. I heard something very interesting on the news though. It said one game plan in Netflix could be, they know they're not going to get regulatory approval, but they're like tying them up for 2 years so they can get ahead in competition. I'm like, and I guess they said at a cost of 5 billion, which I'm assuming is a breakup fee. So yeah. But Trump said then they're too big. I don't get it. Netflix is under is under $1 trillion. So their Netflix is the smallest thing. So why is the merger making them too big? Yeah, I got that on my list here. Avgo here. There's some news about Microsoft. These companies move around with deals. whose chips they're going to buy. So Microsoft had a Bear Island reversal going sideways, and I said the other day it's in a trading range, so it could be building a base to go higher, or it could be going sideways to go lower. I really don't know yet, but they're doing something with Marvel. So Marvel, or maybe taking it away from Marvel rather. Now that's a Bear Island reversal, opening up at 92. Look at that, leaving this island all by itself. Yeah, yeah, I have to go earnings this week. So Marvel's a call spread watch. Micron, I don't maybe they're the beneficiary of that news. I'm going to their chip or something. But yeah, I posted in Telegram. This looks like a great put spread opportunity for directional. We got to watch a pullback. But yeah, that's definitely on my watch list. So that curve. And I had this as a 1, 2, 3 long. It did not trigger, but it's gapping down on a secondary offering, so that's fine. It's not going to trigger them. If it's well, I mean, if it does trigger, it's fine. If it doesn't, fine. Oh, IBM, I think is trying to buy this company. Wow. Rarely. I thought it was just a rumor, but this is trading like it's almost a done deal. Um, all right, thanks, Patrick. Looks like it's, usually the gap. And the reason they don't gap exactly to the purchase price is because it's not a done deal. But the closer it's trading to the buyout amount, the more certainty the market has. So IBM is down on the news of wanting to buy that company. We had this as a put spread over Friday's high. Has to take out the little tail. Looks like it's what 30, well, opening up a tad. Oh, I guess okay. So look, here was the dip. Here was the dip on the announcement of wanting to buy that company, which is which is usually the case. The acquirer usually goes down, the acquiree up. Well, this is now negated it. That's saying like kind of like the deal. Sergey on social media, that's about driven. 1733. Yeah, it's a Climo up and down. Wow, I remember when we were talking about it right on this bar. Wow, that was a nice move. Incredible. But so yeah, it's Sergey. It's a bear gap down. That's definitely call spread watch and day trade short. IBD stock. I didn't know they had IBD as stock today. Uh, yeah, I saw that over the weekend actually. It's at the top of the range, but it's building a big old base daily, weekly, monthly, so that they're all in alignment. Alex, remember this BMY on this gap up? I said I liked it. I never posted it, but that was that's a nice gap trade right there. You had bullish weekly, monthly. CFLT, oh, that's the buyout one. Apple, they've been in the news about losing tech people in the AI space. BYN, oh, that says therapeutics, so forget it. But pattern wise, 30-minute high. Jeffries, well, I think it got an upgrade, but it's a gap breakout. You can watch that on a pullback. It has room. This is a void. Momentum move down, has room to like 64. So let's watch a pullback. These Bitcoin stocks I'm always watching. SOLS. Why am I looking at you? Oh, there was a number of stocks getting moved in and out of the index. have time, I'll go through the whole list. But I think I read this was going in or out of an index, but if it's an IPO, how the heck did it get in an index so quickly? But I put an alarm at 47.16. Pix is getting added to the S&P 500. That's a big old gap. That was, I mean, other than the overlapping bars, trades chaotic. This is a nice 1, 2, 3. But
And if you know what's being removed.
here I'll show you right now. I have this email that I get. Oh shit, I deleted it already. Darn it. Um, hold on, get it.
Don't waste your time. We'll figure it out.
Shit, I'm trying to find my. Shit, I can't find my trash folder. Uh, what else? All right, I don't want to waste time. Um, yeah, it comes in this morning email, I guess. All right, Carvana was added to the S&P 500. There's an effective date. It's just the announcement that matters. But this is a total gap and crap call spread. This thing rallied from 307 up 10 bars, and now you're gapping up 10% almost. So I have that in the bottom right. I got MU here in the middle. Of course, because had an alarm. That's the bottoming pattern breakout. That's not bad as a void. Not sure the target, kind of a junky bottoming pattern, but today this over these highs is your entry. Things Microsoft's doing the best, Tesla worse. Tesla call spread. I'm not sure why that's gapping down. There you go. There's a call spread. Let's watch that 5-10 minute low, whatever the case, but that's a bearish pre-market also. Microsoft, I'm 30-minute high. I'm thinking put spread down here at 470 around the 200. 80 MT alarm just went off. Oh, we shorted that into the close Friday. My pump alarm went off. Got some alarms going off here. Shoot. All right, so that's not a nice gap at all. MU alarm middle chart. MU looks great for a put spread. You can get under Friday's low. It's a nice pre-market consolidation. IBM. I do not know why my alarm went off. I might have given an early entry because it surely did not take out Fridays. Actually, let's change it to 30-minute high. Diamonds were the weakest pre-market, and they're selling off hard now. Qs and the videos are ripping. Uh, Gotta go through all my alarms here. AZTA. Um, all right. I don't even know if that tail is real, but I was watching this for a buy setup with a multi-bar turn. A Dino, that sounds like Alex's watch list. Gap breakdown from a 1, 2, 3. TPC. Uh, this would be a great 30-minute high. Let me see if this is official. TPC. No, I do not see it. Right, so I'll just set a new alarm. Man, my alarms are going nuts here today. Hey, that NVTS, not by the way, semiconductor we bought on Friday, that's ripping pretty nicely. I am way behind on alerts here, you know. Wow, Lulu is on my long list. That's misbehaving. Still in the upper part of Friday's bar, but still. We read it. We did a put spread. That's coming in. Shoot, that's you know that's we call that an accident. That shouldn't have happened. You know, nice closing breakout. PGR. We should have just gapped under the entry. That was good to go. 249. We're we're not in that. Why are you out? Nothing wrong with that. Nice 15. One by one here. Watch row up alarm. We're in this. So reset my alarms. That MU middle chart came back. Hey, check Carvana. Call spread. Oh, actually, a little bit on Friday. It alarm, no pattern. Oh, I had up and down alarms on that. All right, Atro stopped out. Had a nice profit. Behind. All right, this triggered a PTV short.